Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara. I make content about holistic self-love. Happy New Year. New Year, New You. That is the title of this video. And if you are interested in improving your life, which I'm assuming you are, then I hope this video will help you. In this video, I'm going to share with you some techniques on how to make your own wish list and set goals for this new year, or any time of the year. It doesn't need to be New Year at all, but often New Year is a time when people start to think about their lives and what they would like to change, what they would like to release, and what they would like to call in for this coming year. Some people do resolutions, New Year's resolutions, but often that's kind of very harsh self-discipline techniques that usually don't last very long at all. But in this video, we're going to focus more on things that you would like to bring in and manifest. I'm going to share a couple of techniques with you. Some of them are kind of known techniques, others I've created myself. And I want to start by saying that often people don't know what they want in life, and that's quite common. So if you're not quite sure what your wish list has, this video will definitely help you. Some people have a very clear idea and others don't. Yet a lot of people know what they don't like. They keep complaining about the same thing, but often not making changes to eliminate those complaints. I think complaining or staying in that loop can be a kind of familiar territory to stay in. And yeah, it can also create bonds, but that's a whole different topic. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to share with you something that's helped me a lot. And this is a planner called the Clever Fox Planner. If you are someone who likes good old-fashioned pen and paper, making lists, crossing things off, and also personal development, this is a really amazing unplanned. It's an undated planner that's weekly. There are different versions as well, and you can make your own lists, like your goal of the week, your priorities, work or habit tracking, and what to do if you actually achieve your production goals of the week. There's always rewards. Rewards are very important, and also a list of I'm excited about, which is cool as well. And every month, at the end of the month, there is the section called monthly review. And I found this to be very, very helpful in the past, particularly because of this life wheel here. And the life wheel is actually something that's quite commonly used in coaching. And this allows you and your coach, if you have one, to get an assessment of your life as it is right now, what's working and what isn't. And also it can help you to kind of create plans and, let's say, a life design to actually help you to achieve more fulfillment. So this particular wheel here, if you Google life wheel, you will see lots of different versions, and some of them have 8 segments, some of them have 12, and some segments may not even be relevant to your life. You could replace them potentially. But in this particular case, there is business and career, family and friends, romance, personal development, finance, recreation, spiritual, and health and fitness. Yeah, so what you would do is you actually score yourself and kind of colour it in. There's up to 10 segments, up to 10 on the levels there, and then in the end it's going to be a pie, and it's very clear which parts of your life are not quite working, or which parts do need a bit of a boost, or some changes need to be made, and that can give you a very clear idea of where you're at. It's a good idea to actually do this every month, or just any time in your life where you feel that there needs to be some changes made. And that's one way to actually start to get an assessment or a view on your current situation and current circumstances. And also from my book, Orgasmic Manifestation, which I'm super proud of. This was published last year. This has a whole technique about manifestation, and it's actually about the O method, transform your life with your sexual energy. But what I'm going to actually explain in this video doesn't have to be connected to sexual energy unless you want it to be. So we're really going back to the basics, the actual first stage of manifestation, which is really getting clear on what you want in life. So instead of actually doing the life wheel in my book, I have a chapter 4 called What Do You Want? With a quote. the most fantastic, magical things can happen, and it all starts with a wish. And they often, quote this thing in the law of attraction saying that all, ideas, all things started with an idea, which is not woo-woo at all. It's actually very, very, very true. So in my book, I had a different framework. I had a 3-columned chart here, and it has health, wealth, and happiness, which are the 3 pillars of the self-help industry. Everything comes under those categories. So typical desires of health would be, let's say, physical fitness, could be flexibility, inner peace, to reduce stress, improved physical health overall, lower your cholesterol, all different things like that. Then wealth is not just money, but also it could be things like, it is things like financial stability. What does money represent? Passive income streams. It could be the sale or an acquisition of assets. And then happiness could refer to love, friendships, family dynamics, a new home, and opportunities for travel. And so if you actually look at what areas of your life are lacking, that might give you an idea on what you want to focus on, unless you're very clear on what you want to focus on. And then you can just have a look at these areas here, the health, wealth, and happiness, and then just go for it. Get a piece of paper, write the date, and write all the things that you would like to achieve. And maybe don't hold back. But I think it's something I've done over the years, for quite a number of years now. I've simply just taken a piece of paper, written a date, and all the things I want, and then I kind of detach from that list, depending on which technique I'm doing at the time. And then it can happen, where it has happened many times, where I've been cleaning up, I've completely forgotten about the list, and I come across it and like, oh my God, I've got all of those things. And it's very, very satisfying. And then sometimes I've also seen things that I haven't achieved on that list, and I think, oh, actually, I'm glad that didn't come into fruition, because it might not have been the thing that really would have made me happy. Because sometimes we don't know what's best for us. Sometimes the thing we want is not the thing that's going to bring us the fulfillment that we really desire, which is going to take me to my next point, which is all about the emotion behind the desire. And that's probably the most important part of this technique. So when you have your list of desires, your list of the things that you would like to call into your life, the next thing is to think about, what is the emotion behind this desire? What is the accomplishment of this thing going to help me feel? This is so, so, so important. So once we start thinking about the feelings, we might find that the thing you want might not be the best way to get the feeling you want, because it really is all about feelings at the end of the day. I'll give you an example. Let's say something like travel. I mean, travel's a very common thing that people want, but the reasons behind people wanting to travel can vary so much. For some people, it might be, I want to have a really cool Instagram feed. It might be doing it all just for what it looks like on Instagram. And I wouldn't say that's the best desire. That could just be an ego thing. However, it could be someone who is really kind of promoting a lifestyle, and that might be a good thing for them to have as an asset, as a digital asset for their business. For other people, for me, travel means aliveness. It means perspective on my life. Some Instagram posts as well, but really that feeling of aliveness. And travel is one way to feel that, but there are other ways as well. Something like going to the sea or hugging a tree. There are other ways that can provide aliveness. So it's, and also another example of something that can mean different things to different people is, for example, a car. A car could mean something about pride. I worked hard and this is the reward. Every time I see my car, I'm going to be reminded of my amazing perseverance. It could be something that motivates you to keep working. Or for someone else, it could be freedom, where it means you can just get up and go whenever you want. Or it could mean, what else? Yeah, it could be a good Instagram post, having a nice car. So, or it could be, it can mean, I have no idea, I don't even have a car myself, I can't drive. And something else like a house as well, that can mean a lot of different things. For some people it can mean, I feel grown up now, I feel the sense of maturity, I'm doing what you're supposed to do in life. and that could be a feeling of satisfaction there and achievement. For other people, it could mean this represents a commitment, relational and emotional stability with my partner. For other people, it could symbolize passive income revenue, which is bringing freedom, because it's something that you're going to rent out and get income from through rentals. So, or it could mean stability, freedom. A lot of different things for different people. So it's really important to kind of get that, tap into what that feeling is behind the desire. And then look again at that, the thing you want to bring you to that feeling. Is that the best thing, And also something that's really interesting about the feeling is that we've already felt the feelings that we want to feel in life. And in order to tap into that feeling again, which is a really big part of manifestation, it's not just about thinking about the car, but also just imagine the emotions of being in that car. What does it really mean? You can actually think about that emotion and connect it with another time in your life when you have had that emotion. So you can actually conjure up these feelings in your body about what it really feels like, and then just apply it to the car, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of kind of mental and embodiment happening here, but that's a really important thing, is to think about the emotion. Another thing I really think is important or recommended is to start small. Make sure your list has small achievable goals on them and things that you can achieve in a relatively reasonable time frame, because your desires can always change, because life is constantly changing and your desires change as well. It's not really good, really not recommended at least, to make a wish list for something you might want in 5 years, because a lot of things can change between now and then. And but other people just say, think big, and don't let anything stop you. And that's all well and good if you're a confident manifestor and you've already got some confidence with the manifestation process. It all depends on yourself. But the danger of that is that there could be something in your conscious or unconscious mind that blocks you and says, you'll never have that. So I think it's good to kind of work it up slowly with small achievable goals, and then you can celebrate your small victories and then get onto and work on bigger, better things later on. And that is the first stage of setting goals. Then you might want to think about actions, which is a whole different topic. But in my book, Orgasmic Manifestation, Transform Your Life with Your Sexual Energy, I talk about all these techniques of creating the list and the emotion behind it, which is really key in your practice if you do choose to do the O method, which is basically setting an intention for your orgasms and in bringing in that desire. But you don't have to bring sexual energy into it with what I'm about to explain. And also, after this technique of, let's say, the list, the emotion, the next thing we would do is create affirmations from the desires. And I have a chapter here about affirmations. Some of them are specific goals and unspecific goals. And a lot of people in Law of Attraction talk about being specific, but also I want to introduce this idea of the beauty of not being specific and letting things surprise you and maybe go bigger than what you want, leaving room for surprise at least. And also in here we have some other things, such as how to match your desire with crystals, with like stones. Like if you want just love, no, it's not actually pink calcite. This is, it could be a love stone, but all different stones, and how you can incorporate these different things into your manifestation process. That you can actually hold them during meditation. It can be a reminder, buying a new stone for a new desire. I like to call it crystal prescriptions. I think there's a book of the same name. And also music. There are different music frequencies called binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies, and these are music frequencies that have different that correspond to different desired outcomes. So for example, there are frequencies for money, for health, for love, and all the things that people really want in life. So you can actually listen to these frequencies during your manifestation process, or just in general, and let these things keep feeding your subconscious, your subconscious. And then I also talk about in the book, essential oils. getting some sensorial input there as well, and lunar cycles, and yeah, so there's a lot of things there. So there's a whole kind of technique of how to turn a desire into different processes. And also, if you do want to use this sexual energy, there is a whole chapter called Eroticize Your Desires. You can actually make something like paying off debts erotic. Can you believe that? Anyway, so if you would like to learn more about this, this is Orgasmic Manifestation, Transform Your Life with Your Sexual Energy. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. And if not, then I hope this technique of how to make your wish list is beneficial for you. What about you? How are you setting goals for the new year? For me today, I actually went down to the beach and made a list of my wishes for 2026 and threw it into the sea, as well as my list of things I'm letting go of, and just let it go, and the universe will work on those things accordingly, and that's it. So anyway, I'm so glad to be here with you again during another year, 2026, and I'm going to leave all my links in the description below for my book, my podcast, my meditations, and my Substack, and all of those good things. Anyway, I hope you've had a wonderful start to the year, and I'll be back soon with some more videos. Thanks for watching. Mwah.